Ahoy Captains, it's Baz again with another video from World Warships Legends. And today we have a let's play for you. We're playing the Belfast. This is the British Tier 6 premium cruiser, and we have a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about the ship, we're going to talk about the match and this gameplay of course, but we're also going to talk about why this ship is really important to me personally. First off, let's set up the game. We're on the map Trident in a game mode of domination, and we spawned in the center, and so we're gonna play in the center. You know me. We're gonna take advantage of Belfast's strengths, and we're gonna park our ship directly in the middle of this map. And from there, we're just gonna start the barbecue. But fear not, don't worry, we're gonna use the AP. We'll get to that. But first off, I'd like to talk about why this ship is so important to me personally. So, story time with Vaz, everyone gather around the fireplace. It all started way back in 2019, late 2019, November I believe it was, when I took a trip to London. Now there's lots to see in London, but one of the things I was able to convince my wife to go and see was the Belfast, one of the few ships that has been preserved from World War II in England. It was right there in the city in the River Thames, so we went and saw it, and I had a blast. That was one of the coolest things I saw on that entire trip. And if you really do want to see, I do have a photo of myself in the captain's seat posted up on my Facebook page, so check the description below for the link to that. Now at that time, they didn't have WoWs on board the ship. They do now, where you can actually play the game in the middle of the tour. So that's not where the story ends. Now London, there's a lot of historical stuff dedicated to World War II. And when I did come home, I found myself watching stuff on Netflix that was related to World War II. I just canceled my Netflix subscription, actually. Don't use it much anymore. Not like the old days. And that's also partly because of how much I play Legends. Anyway, so I had started to brush up on my World War II history and, naval combat and all that good stuff. And, yeah, then COVID hit, and then, long story short, sometime in June, I was looking for something to do. And I was browsing the PlayStation Store, and I saw that World of Warships was on console. I didn't know that. I guess it had been out for almost a year by then. And I remember seeing the PC commercials. I thought the ads for that were kind of funny. You know the ones I'm talking about, the Sink the Yamato, those ones, right? And I actually thought really long and hard about it. I was like, oh crap, this is an online game. If I start playing this, my life might be completely over. It happened to me once before where I played an MMO for a year and I kind of did nothing else with myself. So I knew what I was getting myself into, and so I did think about it long and hard, and I did try it out, but I really did like it right from the get-go. And I just jumped right in. And that was 3 years ago, and the rest was history. But yeah, and so then the Belfast in the game was always something that I wanted to obtain, of course, because that's what got me into the game. But it wasn't ever for sale. It wasn't until, I guess, 9 or so months later where it was put up for sale during the next St. Patrick's Day event, or, I don't know, week, whatever you want to call it. It's just a sale in the store. And then I saw the price. It was like 15,000 doubloons, and I was like, nope, not paying that. But I still wanted the damn thing, and you know what? The next year, I guess it would have been 2022, they reduced the price of all the Tier 6 premiums. Some of them were 15K, remember? And some of them were 12,500 for whatever reason. And so they dropped the Belfast to 12,500, and I said, okay, that's kind of a sale in a way. And so that's when I bought it, finally. And I'm going to put this out there right now. I think it's one of the strongest ships in the game, especially tier for tier. It just has so many strengths, so many tools in the tool bag. Specifically that smoke radar combo, that makes this ship absolutely deadly. No enemy destroyer is safe from it. There are very few ships in the game that they've given that combo to. I can't even think of one off the top of my head. You guys probably know better than me. And I think that's the very reason why they try to limit the number of Belfasts that are in the game. Now, so far in this match, you've seen us burn the hell out of a couple of battleships that were just kind of not really positioned very well in the center of the map there. We did get the kill on one of the first battleships. I think it was Queen Elizabeth. And then we had been working on the Normandy, which almost looked AFK, but he was shooting his guns. Unfortunately, someone else got the kill on that, so we're gonna have to find our Kraken a different way. We're still using these islands as cover, though, just like we would in any cruiser. Just in case we do get caught out in the open, we have our good old smoke screen to back us up. Because the last thing you want when you're in a Belfast is for anything to shoot at you, because you have next to no armor. And that, along with having no torpedoes, is where the balance comes in on this sucker. And here we go, we got a broadside munition at just under 10 kilometers. And we're going to demonstrate the power of the Belfast armor-piercing shells. Look at that salvo, 20,000 damage on one salvo, 6 citadels, and an incapacitation. If there's any ship at tier 6 that is in competition for crappiest armor with the Belfast, it is the Muchen. That's why that sucker has such good DPM. Now, we were really hoping that our destroyer teammate actually knew how to spot. That's why we had popped that smoke screen at the beginning of that engagement with the Muchen. We were trying to be cheeky and shoot at him undetected from the safety of our smoke screen. But alas, he was busy getting the cap, I'm going to say that, instead of not spotting. So we do some of our own spotting. We poke out of our smoke screen and see if we can try and finish off this Muchen. Unfortunately, he's got a bit of an agility build or something on it, and he's tough to hit, especially with the Belfast floaty shells. They're very similar to U.S. cruiser shells, where they, can shoot over top of islands and such. But when it comes to shooting smaller targets, more nimble targets, it's really hard to get those shells to actually hit. It's a real close match here, and I just had a feeling that the destroyer was close by, the enemy destroyer, and so I did use the radar earlier, and I had the sonar on because I didn't want that guy to torp me in my smoke screen. But no dice. So we're going to reposition ourselves, and while we do that, this is probably the best time of the match to get our commander up on the screen. We are using the offensive guy, Bruce Fraser. Oh, look at that, we got him at level 16/3. I didn't know he was that high. Well, he's being inspired by Membeli and Makawa, and the skills we use are Beyond Range, Igniter, Light Fortress, Fixated, and for the legendary skill, we use Fully Packed. Look at us, by the way, over 100k in damage and the high caliber medal already. But at this point, I'd like to point out that there are only 4 enemy ships remaining, and we only have 1 kill. So if we're gonna get our Kraken, we gotta mop up every single last enemy ship. Now at this point, we're hoping to use our teammates as decoys. They are spread out all over the damn place. While their guys are kind of concentrated all together, other than that Muchen to our north. We're gonna turn our attention to him and finish him off in a second here. And then once he's finished off, we're hoping that we'll be able to drop our detectability because of these islands. And in that way, the Queen Elizabeth won't be able to return fire on us. So we know because the Atlanta only has a short range, he's too far away to shoot at us. And we still haven't found that destroyer yet, that crafty little bugger. We will, though. We will. So down went the Muchen. That was our second kill of the match. But they eliminate one of our ships, and we're back to 3 versus 3 here. So we can't play too aggressively. It would only take 1 shot from that Queen Elizabeth to end us. Now our destroyer teammate finally catches up to us, which triggers Fully Packed, and Fully Packed gets our consumables to reload faster. And we get our radar back right away, and we were still spotted after killing that Muchen, so I figured that destroyer was within our range. We used the radar, and there he was. He popped up on the screen, but he was just at the edge of our range and headed the other way, so we weren't able to hit him with any shots, unfortunately. And there's what we didn't want. We didn't want the Queen Elizabeth bearing down on us. Oh crap. Okay, engage the smoke screen and hit the brakes, damn it. Come on, you Royal Navy cruiser. I'm still to this day not used to the brakes on these Royal Navy cruisers. It takes so long for them to slow down, and I always overshoot my smoke screen. Boy, this could have been so bad, but luckily our teammates were helping us out, and somebody was distracting that Queen Elizabeth, and we were able to finally get this thing in reverse and back into our smoke screen. Also, that Queenie's RNG was real bad. Maybe he has a pretty low-level commander, or he doesn't use Cunningham. But we've continued to fire on him, and we're melting them down nicely. The Belfast has some nice powerful HE and a good fire starting chance as well. Makes this thing really potent against battleships, firing into its superstructure and all. The one thing I really don't like about the Belfast and a lot of British cruisers in general is the turret traverse. It's pretty abysmal. It really limits your style of gameplay. You can't really do an agility build. You can't really kite in this thing. It's really tough to defend yourself when you're kiting and your turrets are all over the place. So, down went the Queen Elizabeth. That was our third kill of the match. And now it's just a matter of who's going to be able to finish off these last two guys. We're almost up towards 150,000 in damage. All that's left on the enemy team is an Atlanta and that frickin' destroyer. We have our sonar on though, and so that's going to help us to dodge torpedoes, luckily. Speaking of which, here comes a full salvo, 9 torpedoes from him. We hit the brakes and we turn in, and we're able to dodge those, no problem. Didn't look that way when we first spotted them though, didn't it? Looked like we were going to take one for sure. But we're just going to keep heading towards the destroyer, stay angled towards him. We know that because he's a Japanese destroyer, he's going to have pretty quick reloading torpedoes. And our rudder shift isn't the greatest, especially for a light cruiser. So we definitely don't want to be broadside to his torps again like we were before. Especially when our sonar is running out soon. Now here's the Atlanta. He's broadside, so we're going to swap over to AP. He's at about half health, and we're going to whittle him down pretty nicely here with some AP salvos. There's another Tier 6 cruiser with terrible armor. In fact, it probably has the worst armor at Tier 6 out of all the cruisers. Although the Chumpfon, or what I call the Chump Stain, somehow, even though it's a sister ship of the Atlanta, it feels like it has even worse armor. That thing is just a hunk of junk. Atlanta's putting up a fight though, ain't he? Keeps coming in and out and kiting away and stuff. There's a Citadel on him. A whole bunch of overbends too. That shows how light his armor is, even though our guns aren't super high caliber. Another Citadel on him. Should be one more salvo and he should be done. There we go. And that's our 4th kill of the match. We know that damn Akatsuki's around here somewhere. We got our radar back. It's time to finish this. Flip on the radar. There's nowhere for him to go. Hit the brakes because we know there's torps coming. But actually, he misfired, and we have to speed up to avoid them. That was close. We would have died if we had run into one of those. That last salvo unlocked the Confederate medal for us. Now we can put those fires out. And there's our last shot on them. Kraken Unleashed. So yeah, I really do love the Belfast. I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's my favorite ship in the game now. I'm trying to get it into my top 5 most played. It is super powerful and such, but it is a glass cannon, so you do got to be careful. You definitely got to take advantage of your smoke screens. Well, here we are in the results screen. We finished that match with over 168,000 in damage, the 5 sinkings, 12 fires, almost as many Citadels with 9. The Confederate medal, high caliber medal, and the Kraken Unleashed medal. You'll see coming up here that we finished with 3,350 XP and over 845,000 in silver. Oh yeah, one last thing. This ship, in my opinion, is the best credit earner in the entire game. If you guys think something else is better, you let me know in the comments down below. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button for me. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see my streams and other videos. Feel free to leave a comment down below, and as always, take care of yourselves and do what makes you happy.